So let's go through everything we'll need to get this car serviced. Starting off with our bit set, and this is really just for all different types of Torx bits. Socket set, our torque wrenches, that's for the fuel filter housing, and then sump plug and our oil filter housing. And then filters, we've got air filter, fuel filter, oil filter, and then the oil to go with it. And then we have our jacks and jack stand for getting the car up and something to catch the oil with. I usually work top down, so I'll do everything at the top half of the engine and then I'll go underneath. Starting off the fuel filter housing here, we can see our 5 fuel filter housing bolts. These are all Torx bolts. And these are quite small bolts, so please don't over tighten them. It's only 5 Newton meters. That's really like a hand tight. Nothing more than that is needed. Once I have that done, and then just keep the top half of the engine, I'll take out the air filter, which just involves taking off the top cover and then replacing the filter. As you can see, these are also Torx bolts. This one's missing one, but just go the whole way around the plastic housing and you'll see all of the Torx bolts. With that being said, let's get started with the fuel filter. As we're taking this fuel filter out, we want to just take our time. We don't want to introduce any more air into the system than we need to. So let as much of that fuel drain out as you can. Leave the fuel filter sitting there for a bit. And even when you're putting the new fuel filter in, let it go in gently so you don't spill any of the diesel. So because we changed the fuel filter and we now have introduced air into the system, we have to bleed that air out. And to do that, all you're going to have to do is put the key in the ignition, turn it on so the ignition's on, but don't actually start the car. Leave it 20-30 seconds and that'll just let that fuel pump run and push that air back out of the fuel filter housing. You'll hear the fuel pump go on, not sure if you can hear it now, but you will hear kind of a whirring sound. Once it's off, the ignition back off, and then back on again. I'm going to repeat this maybe 5 or 6 times. That's the 6th time that I've done it now, so I'm just going to put the clutch in, start the car. As you can see, it starts right up. It might take a wee bit longer to start, but let it maybe crank over for 10 or 15 seconds. Anything after that, take it out, run the ignition another couple of times, and then try it again. It should work. So as you can see, we have the car up in the air here, and we also have removed the plastic under tray, which is very simple to remove. I've just have the car supported with jack stands either side, and I've left the jack in the middle here just for an extra bit of peace of mind. But if we move towards the front of the car here, just behind the radiator, we will see that we have the oil filter housing up here. It's this black circle, and it's currently blocked by these two wires. But if you unclip these wires, it's easy to do. There's a ridge on the clip. We can get access to the oil filter housing. As we see, it actually has two nuts. The nut in the center is how you drain the oil filter housing, and the nut around that is how we actually remove the oil filter from the housing. So undo the drain first, let all the oil drain out, and then let's actually take the oil filter out after that. Once we have that done, we can move to the back of the engine, just to the sump here, and we can see the sump plug. We'll take that out, we'll drain the remaining oil of the engine, and then we can put everything back together and refill.